Francis and I have done presentations concerning the development of AI across different countries, and we're glad to be here at Mayo because it's closer to home. Going to walk through three different things that are elements of micro-learning that we know fits into workflows for business. I reckon there are between 16 and 19 micro-learning workflows. We're going to show you a few things, starting with an authentic statement that what we are about to show you are things we're doing. We're not trying to sell these things, and it's based on notes that we've taken and practice that we've observed over the time frame from 2023 to the present day. We keep things in flat text files. Obsidian is a place, Notion is a place, SharePoint is a place where these notes go, and these notes become what we're about to show you today. Some AI was used in this presentation to kind of enhance, and you're going to see a lot of AI done with what Francis is showing you. Right now, an AI is listening to me talk, and you'll see what that has produced in the next few minutes. This deck is done on PowerPoint. Designer makes it a lot easier to manage things. We look at purposefulness, the program we want to use, and the people that use these things. You've heard a lot about this already in the sessions we've had today about, why would you want to use a service to transcribe your words and to take notes at a meaning? Why would you want to look at the world in front of you and ask an AI what it sees? Or why would you want to try to catch up with what you said a year ago or a month ago, notes you took 4 years ago, or in my case, a snippet from a book I read 20 years ago, and chat to it? These are three specific demos that are purposeful and they're program-based. The first one uses a service called Otter. So Otter was mentioned already here today in this program, in this event. And I'm going to show you what it's doing currently. So it's recording something that I'm saying right now, and it's going to show me on screen as I attempt to move it into place what I'm actually talking about. So you'll see Otter picking up the words that I'm using currently. And to me, it's rather magical about what this looks like. You can discern for yourself whether that's something that you want to trust as a mechanism that can take notes for you as you talk or as you think. So the transcription capability is radical. I remember during COVID, where I was paying up to $1 per word to get accurate transcripts. The accuracy was guaranteed by a Filipino working with what I was what I was talking about. And now, quite frankly, I can trust Otter to do this. Whether you'd want to do that, whether you'd want to let a transcription service guide you, well, that's up to you, and it depends upon what your principles are, your principles of work, where you might be working with a company that provides you the information that you use it to action a document. I use Otter to tell me what I talked about, and it provides a nice little summary. Some specific business use cases. I also use Otter to talk to myself. So I make notes to myself when I think about things that are important to consider. So I took a lot of notes when Danny was just speaking. I would regurgitate those notes by talking about the scribbling I have in my little notebook that I took. That consistent journaling, according to people like the cyber psychologists that were cited earlier today by Maura, they tell me that if I do this, I actually talk to myself using Otter as my talking friend, that it improves my sense of coherence. It takes me to this level of metacognition where I can keep the phone in the car when I'm driving, and when something really interesting happens on radio, I can just tap a button on the phone and take a note to myself. I can record the conversation that I'm hearing on the radio and then play it back and say, or Otter can let me read it back about what actually happened. To me, these are important business cases because if you were in this room, you're a creative, and if you're moving your brand forward, you're having an idea right now that you can probably act on. The action might be inaction. Absolutely don't want to do what the American Irish guy wants you to do. You don't have to use this, but at least you're thinking about it. Okay, there are problems with all the technology. Taming your Otter is what you have to do. Taming any service that records what you're thinking is important because, as Danny sort of hinted, the technology has become more pernicious. I know that the voice register I am using may potentially be used to authenticate me and my voice in a situation later when I'm dead. I know this because I used to work inside the Pentagon, and I know how people use voice records. I know that some of the things that I talk about or record go to a service that I do not control the back-end repository. Now, I can do it by paying for a premium service, but if I use a service in the sky to do special things with what I am seeing or hearing, there's a GDPR thing that I might want to be concerned about. I also know that I need to lock down this stuff. And people don't see my Otter notes, but yet I do know something out there is saving it and someone could harvest it. I also know that you saw me using Otter automatically because everything in my calendar is ready to go with Otter. I tap it, and it plays. If somebody in the schedule I have has an email address associated to what I'm doing, they will get a note generated from Otter with screens I was using and words that we were saying in a conversation. So be careful of the technology you use, and if you need cautionary tales and some serious embarrassing moments involving technology that did something that I didn't expect, I can give you an hour-and-a-half presentation on that. At least 80 things have happened to me in Ireland that I would not wish on anybody else based on walking into the thin ice of technology. Frances won't do that. She's going to show you some stuff about how glasses she's wearing is going to be able to produce something that's really interesting.
Well, at least I hope. At least I'm hoping to do that. Live demos are always a little bit risky, so this one definitely brings quite a few risks, but we'll see how we go. I'm Frances O'Donnell. I'm an instructional designer in ATU Donegal. My background and why I'm here is because I'm a positively cautious explorer of AI. I have 3 kids. I've been in education a long time, and AI is changing society. But I fully believe that we need to maintain our connection. So very much like the other speakers, Moira talked about the fear that people feel. Ingrid talked about the need for connection. And Caroline talked about brand values. And then we have the fundamental changes that Danny talked about. So we're not saying go out and buy these. We are exploring what's possible and letting you know what's happening in the world. When I demo these, you have a think and see how this might impact your business. So these are the MetaView glasses. I was going to ask it to have a look at a book, but I'm actually changing tact right now. What I'm going to ask it to do is I'm going to ask it to look at these plants. I was talking to a lady earlier, and she works in a gardening center, and Bernie talked about this too. I'm going to need some help from Vinny on this, and I need some help from you guys. I need to give me a thumbs up if you actually hear it, because when I have it on, I'm going to have it really loud, so all I can hear is my glasses talking to me. So I'm going to click start. Vinny, you can change our audio. Hey, Meta. What type of plants are these? And are they dangerous to cats?
The plants in the image appear to be bamboo or a similar type of plant. While bamboo is not typically toxic to cats, it's still important to keep in mind that eating any plant material can cause gastrointestinal upset in cats.
Thanks, Meta. Did you hear that? A little. So it's telling me that the plants are bamboo, and it could be an intestinal issue for cats if that was the case. So you can think about, the lady earlier was talking about people walking into the garden centre and being able to talk to Meta and tell it what plant, where do I plant it, what type of plant is this? Another little thing, the reason, the purpose, coming from Moira, that I actually decided to buy into these. I'm not pro just buying things. It's got a purpose, which is what our 3P framework does. The purpose for this is so busy. I believe connecting with people is really important, but we're all so busy. How do you keep doing that? So while I'm driving, I say, hey, Meta.
Send a message to Bernie Taco.
What's the message?
I'm so impressed you managed to stay on top.
Send.
Message to Bernie Topgold says,
Meta sending my message to Bernie. So while I'm driving in my car, I'm communicating with people, and it saves me time. If I'm moving around the house, I'm communicating with people. Sorry, you couldn't hear it fully on there, but I have been around and I will be around, so come and see me. Business use cases, hands-free photos, videos. There was a magician I saw about a year ago who records his reactions to the participants and it's quite like it's first person, it's real. Site visits, inspections, voice notes as reminders, which is what I do too. Content creation, brand selling. As quick as, hey Meta, take a photo. Hey Meta, send that to my colleague. However, this is important. GDPR for the Meta View glasses, they had to put on the little white light, which will show you if you see someone now with glasses and white light, they're recording you or they're taking a photograph. There are implications for GDPR and personal data. You're taking pictures of people. On myself, on Bernie's Meta glasses, we've clicked off where the content isn't going to Meta. Be conscious of opting in and opt out. Bigger conversation, but opt out of having your data and any of the tools that you're using being sent. Inaccurate information, always an issue with AI, and the sustainable aspect, the environmental sustainable aspect, the amount of power that's been used for many of the ones that Bernie has already talked about. So that is it. Bernie, over to you.
Thanks. Okay, I had my glasses turned off, but I could turn it on. I could turn on the WhatsApp, and I'd hear this stuff. And Francis and I have literally talked to each other while driving on the road with the messages going into voice as well as into WhatsApp, and then we can copy and paste that stuff, and we can use random thoughts while driving as a way of making content that you're currently seeing. Okay. It's important to emphasize something that I said really fast at the start, and that is you're probably sitting on top of ideas that aren't ready for prime time, but you know with a little tweaking they can be powerful business intelligence, that can be registered marks, patents, or something that's going to enhance the brand of a company. The people I train with the Irish Innovation Skill Net are they're in medtech and fintech, and like I drove all the way to Letterkenny in 2024 to meet the only person I knew in Ireland that was paying more money than I was per month for an AI. And that was a guy in Letterkenny, Joe Donnell. He was paying €200 a month, and he was getting a special tunnel with ChatGPT that stayed in Ireland. So the AI he was talking to never left Grange Castle. The point is, he was iterating content that he wanted nobody to see, and he could do that inside his own workstation. In other words, not connected to anything. He could do it inside of a small work center connected with Ethernet, or as I'm going to show you, he could have done it with just using all his information, put in special places he trusted, and then let a chat bot talk to it. So there are many ways that an AI can actually do work for you that are helpful to tag into when you're starting your day. So oftentimes, when I look at 15 things I have to do for the day, I can flip back and forth, pull out a file cabinet. I have record cards in a wooden box I can use as well, or I can talk to my chatbot. So that's different than talking to myself. I can talk to my past self through a series of workflows and templates and agents that I've set up. What I'm about to show you It took me 14 minutes to start, and when I iterated it, I can do what I'm about to show you in less than 10 minutes, 7 minutes, to produce a chatbot. Now, this thing is powered by a thing called MindPal. There are many other agents. MindPal just happens to it's like the primary school level. Pretty easy to figure out, are you a researcher or a marketing person? Are you a CEO or are you a fintech person? Lots of templates. So start with a question. I woke up in the morning here in the Ellison Hotel trying to figure out what kind of skills do I want an audience to develop? So that's the question I would ask my chatbot. Other people would go to some place, read their email. I use a thing called superhuman.io to read my email and does it faster. But I can ask my chatbot questions to give me traction on things I've done already. Here's something that you could do from where you're sitting. If you QR coded to that thing with your phone, it'll open up a place that you can ask, hey, what in the world did Francis do with smart glasses? That's a question. You could ask, who is Bernie Goldbach? And he said something about the Pentagon. Is that real? Or does she really live in County Sligo, or is it County Donegal or County Mayo? You could ask, see if it knows these things. What's in my MindPal are records of many of the things that are previous sessions that Francis and I have been involved in. And it may reveal the answer. So if you hit that QR code or grab this slide deck when it's available afterwards and go through it slower and ask the questions, it's quite interesting to see what might be revealed. So that's the chatbot. How it's set up, it's a different kind of micro-learning lesson that we would typically teach people how to do it. And as I mentioned, a smart person can do it in less than 10 minutes. If you're slow, that is, say it's brand new and you need to see the theory of it, it'll take you between 20 and 30 minutes to understand templates, workflow, permissions, and how to instruct an AI to talk to you. Some use cases. If you have an FAQ file on your website, you should have one that can talk to people. If you have product recommendations that you need to make for somebody to decide, are you going to upsell them because they're there at your front door, your website, this can help. And there's plenty of other things concerning onboarding, drafting emails, translating information, analyzing customer sentiment. All these things can be done with several of the chatbots that I've made for specific actions that they perform as agents. Problems with doing this. If you're used to giving away everything to everybody on the street, well, I remember somebody telling me in the late 90s, look, it's not a polite thing if someone says, hey, what did you have for breakfast? Because they'll keep asking you stupid questions if you answer that one. So be aware of the fact that what you may have, what you think is private, may actually be personal to somebody else. What you have may compromise business interests in the company that you're part of. At worst, the multinational you're part of, your parent multinational may have issues with what you're saving. If you need to do this, then you need to do it at the enterprise level if it's part of your growth as a company. So there are enterprise strength, tools, techniques, and of course, higher subscription prices to keep your stuff secured. All AI that's working in the middle will inject issues of bias and accuracy that you are responsible for. So you can't believe everything you read, even if it's really well written by your promotional people. I keep stuff local, so everything I produce here and the stuff that Francis worked on, we referenced off my Surface Book. We didn't have to go outside for it. It's customizable, it's secure. So I believe in keeping a Notion database, an Obsidian knowledge management system, your second brain, in a place where you can grab it and build it. Find somebody that can provide you in-house expertise, responsible use, sustainable use, because I'm on my Surface Book, I'm not talking to the internet. I'm not talking to a power station. I'm just burning battery power. If you need to talk to us and argue with any of these things, or you want more, much deeper water, easy to find us. Francis?
Yeah, and I think one of the important things to remember is when everyone's feeling quite afraid or, it's quite overwhelming, going back to Moira's, is that there are settings and ways that you can stay safe within the use of AI, but I have definitely saved time. I change the things that I do, but I keep the information safe. They say we've lost a generation to social media if we work together and utilize the transformative, or at least the positive aspects of AI, without losing a generation to AI. These are the types of conversations that you want to be having. What is the use? What is the purpose? Who are the people? And how can I make that work for my business? And what is your brand value?
And if I will also mention one other thing too, which I promised Francis I would do. The issue of Irish AI, one of the key ingredients of it, one of the green labels, gold star elements of it is this. You understand what the Americans want, what the Chinese are going to do, what the Saudis are going to do, and what Grok or Elon Musk is going to do. You, if you're truly Irish, need to know that empathy, ethics, sustainability, compliance, and things that make the Irish economic engine work without running over people, that's up to you with your perspective. And I believe in it. I'm fourth generation Irish removed, so I can trace my roots back to graveyards and Valley Buffet. And I'm telling you, the Irish side of my family is way different from the German side of my family, is way different from the Russian side of my family. I'm still very confused about all those gene pools, but I do know what the Irish identity is, and culture, with empathy, with sustainability, with ethics you can trust, and a brand identity which is human first. That is important. If you don't want to put the human first, okay, hug your computer, but at least put the human in the middle. That is so important. That is what the EU AI Act is going to reveal when it's given statutory grounding here in Ireland. You need to be aware of that if you're involved in running a company or guiding the company, because it's up to you. You came to hear what is available in this transformative workplace. You heard a lot of experts talking, and I'm here to tell you, please don't lose the empathy, the ethical concern, and the sustainability awareness that you must bring to the table. Otherwise, you're really ripping off the people that follow you, the younger people in the Irish economy. We'll be around for questions, but otherwise, we've used our time.
I'll end in one lighter note, as I'll be around with these glasses. You'll hear it, and you can hear it yourself, so come see me. Oh, we have a question. Yes?
Two books. Okay.
And another great book is The Empire of AI.
Yeah, we need to mention. Yeah, okay. Alistair's a clever boy. Okay, Alistair McDermott's one of the top 5 people in Ireland when it comes to AI. That's a fact. Okay, and Karen Ho, Empire of AI, and Ethan Mullock, Co-Intelligence. Those are the 3 books I'd read for Christmas.
He's missed it.
We'll
put it up and leave it there. That's us.
Yeah, Sarah Wynne Williams is telling you don't believe in Zuck. So.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.